All right, YouTube, welcome back. Woods in the City here. We're going to talk about the Adventure Spec front wind deflector, GPS holder. Going to talk about this, putting it on, how it fit, and what I'm using it for. So let's get into it. All right, so here it is. This is for the 2019 CRF450L. That's what I have here. And you can see here that I've got this fitted for a 7-inch, this is a Samsung tablet. And I had a problem here when I first installed this, and you can see it right here. When I would go to put my tablet in, it would hit this deflector piece with the back right here. So I understand. This is a separate piece of equipment. This is made by RAM. It's a holder specifically for my tablet. And this is an Adventure Spec deflector, GPS holder, and this is the way I wanted it to work, and it does work now. And you can see that what I had to do down here is I had to put some extra screws in between the actual plastic shield and the metal that is part of the Adventure Spec GPS holder. You can also see here that the GPS holder can be fitted for a number of RAM mounts. I could have done a portrait or a landscape style mount, and of course I did the portrait mount, and I'll mount it up real quick for you so you can see it. So here's the front view. As you can see, the speedo down here, the original CRF450 speedo, I can still see that. And when I put my tablet in here, I kind of have to finagle this under the cables, push up on that, and then let it go down into the bottom. And you can see here that when my GPS is sitting there, it's almost fully behind the screen, and I can see for the most part the screen. Now the part I don't like is, this is just the way it is, nothing I can do about it, but that cable right there just so happens to be almost exactly where my GPS center point is. So when I turn this on, one sec. So when I turn my GPS on, I have this is the, I can't remember what this thing is, Samsung Active3 tablet, 7-inch. It has a speed button right here that opens my GPS. And this is a GPS Tracker OM. It allows you to download different maps. I like it because it's free, and it's free with tracking. So I can also track my routes. Now I can't go back through the routes with any sort of verbal indicator or anything, but I like it. It's free. I don't have to pay my yearly subscription for something that I use 1 week out of the year. But you can see right here, when you're riding down the trail or the road, you can see that this cable is going to be right about at the point that you are right here. But it is what it is. And I like a 7-inch display. I had it over here on my RAM mount, and it just kept falling. It's just a little too heavy for one of these. I guess I could have gone for a larger RAM mount ball and a larger holder, but I kind of wanted something to keep the wind off of my chest anyway. It's a fantastic setup. Really like it. Another thing that I really like about this mount is it mounts right here to the triple clamps, and it's super sturdy. It's made of, I don't know, some sort of metal. I don't know what it is. Not that important. And then the front here, of course, is plastic. And you can see I added some extra bolts right behind there. Just a little bit of space between the mount and the plastic so that I can actually get my GPS off. You can see it right there really good if it'll focus. You can see that center part was always hitting the top of the deflector. And then when I had no GPS in there, it was just vibrating. These two pieces were vibrating together and making all kinds of noise. I hate the vibration, I hate the noise. So I just spaced those apart a little bit. Does a fantastic job at keeping just a little bit of wind off of my chest. And if I want to, I can duck behind it. If it's night and it's a little bit cool, I can duck behind the deflector, get my helmet down there if I'm riding on the road, trying to get down the road somewhere. One other thing I forgot to cover is that this holder actually has a little cutout right here. It's made for a switch. You can put a charger in there. I put a switch in here, And the switch just allows me to turn on some auxiliary lights. I put these cheesy little lights here. Got those at the auto store, and the reason I put those here is because when I'm going down a trail, I've got great LED lighting up front from Baja Designs, but what I don't have is I don't have anything falling into the trail beside me so I can see something close to the bike on either side. So I just put a switch in there that controls both of those lights, and I zip tied those lights to my hand guards. And the reason I did that was I had the cutout here on the deflector. It cannot be used for I guess what they meant it to be used for, which is a USB charger. So I just bagged that idea all together and switched it out for some lights, some auxiliary lights, which I was wanting to do. For my charger, I have a little pack right here, and this plugs right into my charge port. The charge port that I use, you can see here I've got good voltage. I can also turn this on to charge phone or GPS or whatever it is I want to charge, and then I can turn it off by a switch. And I've got this connected right through my wire here, and that is connected for my that's connected directly to the battery. That's for my charger, so I can charge the battery the rest of the year in the off season. And that's kind of my setup for GPS, for charging. It's not a fantastic setup, but I like it. It was fairly easy, fairly cheap. The shield, of course, I paid for my own. I paid for the Samsung tablet, paid for all of my stuff. I paid for the Moscow Moto bag. I paid for all my little connectors or whatever. Anyway, not that big. You can find this stuff all over the internet, but quick little review on that GPS phone holder deflector. Really like it. Still keeps the look of a dirt bike. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a tower there. Some people definitely don't like it if they're a pure off-road motorsport type of guy, but I like it. I like a big screen. I've had a small phone on here for GPS. It's fine. It did the trick. I just like something bigger. Anyway, signing off. Woods in the City. Have a good one.